And we are live. Hello, my friends. My name is Evelyn Joy, and welcome back to my channel. We're going to start off today with some prayer before we dive right in to what's going on with Hurricane Helene. Now, here are some prayer requests. We have victim of Hurricane Helene, Hurricane Milton, and also we need to pray. There are wildfires in Wyoming right now, so that's another prayer request. So let's get started. Dear Lord, I want to lift up to you everyone who is suffering right now, everyone who is in need. Pray that you would provide for their needs, provide shelter, provide warmth from the cold, Lord, provide help and food and water and showers and everything they need, generators, heaters, campers, everything, Lord. I just pray that you would provide for their needs. And I also just thank you for the neighbors that are stepping up. Thank you for the linemen. Thank you for the gentlemen that are clearing off the roads for free, for the businesses who are opening up Silverado for, donations to come in and turning their businesses into just a place where people can give out donations from. And I just thank you for all the good-hearted people that are doing good. I pray for you to put a stop to all the looters and the people that are stopping donations and the people that are blocking anything. I just pray for good to prevail. And I pray for an end to the wildfires and protection for the cattle and the farmers that are in the areas of the wildfires. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, we're going to dive right in, and we are going to get started today, my friends. First off, there are several awesome survival skill videos that I just narrowed it down to 3 to share with you guys that I feel like are super important, because I realized there might be somebody out there with Starlink that have connections but might need some survival skills. So I thought these were really, really smart, and who knows, they might watch my video. So I'm going to share this, and also maybe you'll sometime in the future need this information. So here we go.
You could boil water in a paper cup. Normally, if you have a paper cup, throw it in the fire, it's going to burn. But if you take your cup and fill it up with water, like from this questionable water source, put it on the fire, leave it there for a few minutes, you'll get a boil. Good to know, because you never know what you might be able to find in a survival situation. Did you know you could boil water?
So you can boil water in a paper cup. That is like, I mean, if all you can find in the debris is a paper cup, I mean, you could try this, right? It seemed like he dipped it in a way that the outside was wet as well. I think that was an important step. So let's listen to another survival skill, because I think these are these awesome survival skill guides that former Boy Scouts maybe are teaching us stuff that those of us that didn't get taught those things were learning it for the first time. So here's another one.
Didn't know this, but clay is literally just mud, and mud is everywhere. Zero equipment necessary, literally just go out, find some mud, dig it up, see if you can sculpt a worm out of it. If you can roll that worm into a loop and it holds its shape well, then you have a pretty good sculpting clay on your hands. Every source of mud or dirt you have ever seen may have the potential to make drinking vessels like this, or even cook pots like this. Now, whether it will dry and fire without cracking, that's a different story, and that takes some testing. But if you ask me, that's the funnest part of it all. And you don't need an expensive kiln to fire it. After sculpting, you can literally fire your pottery in a campfire, like this. When fired in an open fire like that, it's called earthenware. And earthenware has been utilized all around the world by different cultures for survival for thousands of years and is still used today. For most clays to survive this firing process, you have to add a bit of sand to them. If you don't have sand, you can use rock dust, ground up seashells, or ground pottery. This is called temper, and it stabilizes the clay so it can handle thermal shock better without cracking. Earthenware pottery meant for cooking tends to have more temper in it than others. From a survival standpoint, if you know how to find and utilize wild clay, you can make containers to boil contaminated water in and store fresh water. There's going to be wild clay pottery master classes on the Sage Smoke Skills Exchange. So if you haven't joined that yet, go check it out. You can find more info on my profile.
Amazing. People are so smart. And you can even make pottery. Okay, so here's a neat invention that is for filtering water, which is a huge need right now. So here we go.
Some of my close friends are currently stuck on a mountain right now. They're completely cut off from the rest of the world because of the damage of this recent hurricane. They are alive, thankfully, but with the roads washed out and their water supply compromised, things are getting desperate
fast. It really hits home how unpredictable this world is after a hurricane or a natural disaster. Everyone in my family has one of these tiny little straws. It's no bigger than a Sharpie marker. And would you believe me if I told you that this tiny tube can filter an entire year of clean drinking water? Right now, Sierra Madre is donating 1,000 pure water straws and 1,000 emergency sleeping bags to all the victims from this hurricane. We decided to run a special 60% off sale today so that everybody has the chance to grab one of these life-saving pure water straws. Click below and grab your pure water straw for everyone in your family and your friends. Do it right now while this special is live, or you'll have to pay full price next week if we have any of these left.
That's amazing. Man, people invent such cool things. It is so cool. The next story I have to share with you. I shared it on Facebook and I pinned it at the top because these two elderly ladies, I don't know their age, but they look to me in their possibly 70s. They survived by a miracle. Their house was split in half. There was a mudslide, 20-foot mudslide. They rode on a mattress. The two sisters and their little dog, they rode on a mattress down river for 5 miles. And then they found a huge tree to hold onto in the water, held onto it all night long. They found plastic bags to put on their heads, water bottles and a cane that were just floating by. They grabbed them, and then they waited there until their neighbor the next morning found them. And some gentlemen cut the trees and got them out. So let's listen to them tell their amazing, harrowing story.
Story about what happened to your house.
Right, this is my sister Cynthia. I'm Jackie. She's 75 before. We were in our house and I had just gone outside. The water was like this deep, and I came back inside and it went boom. And I looked, and a big old tree had just hit it.
And where did that tree come from?
It came from the sawmill up the river.
The sawmill dam broke, or did it have a dam? Or
no, it's just a big sawmill.
It was just a sawmill.
Yeah,
and it was their logs they were cutting.
Right.
Oh, okay. So the sawmill log is what came down and hit your house. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
When it was coming down, it was clipping other big trees with it. So then all these trees, they just hit. They went bam, they hit the house, and boom again, and split it into pieces. And it just split down the middle. And my sister looked, and it was like a 20-foot wall of mud, dirt, everything.
Oh my God!
I shoved her on the bed, and she grabbed a little dog, and then the house just split apart, and we stayed on a mattress for about 5 miles and went down the river.
Rode down the river on a mattress for 5 miles.
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
We had a little bit of a house behind us, and then we ended up slamming into a rubble,
the debris.
Yeah. The mattress snapped in half and slingshot me way over there. She went down, and all I had was my nightgown and I was like scooting across trees and everything. After I looked, I'm not broken, Yeah. And I called over, and it took me an hour to get her pulled up and the dog. Yeah. And then we spent the rest of that night hanging on.
So you stayed all night in the water or up on the bank?
In the water, on a tree.
Hanging on a tree
and then we started worrying about water moccasins and snakes and bears. Oh.
You are two of the bravest women I've ever known.
Yeah.
I've ever met.
We put plastic bags on our heads trying to stay warm and just huddled up to each other.
And tried whatever was around us.
Yeah, whatever. I caught a cane floating by, then I found a ball of water floating by.
Oh.
I reached out there to get it.
So you came up here you came into town today to
go to Farm Bureau.
Oh, to
my insurance company that I've had for 35, 40 years. And now they're telling me nothing. They're not paying for not even the contents, nothing.
I know. And what he said, they're not going to pay for anything because what?
He said it was flood and I don't have flood insurance. And I just had him at my house like 5 months ago, upgrading it.
Do you remember his name?
Yeah. I got his card. Yes.
Oh.
That's even better because, he just looked me dead in the face.
And said you did not need insurance?
He said I didn't need flood insurance. And I said, but I have there's a little tiny creek out there.
Brandon Adams.
Yeah, and I said, well, I have content. I have, all my antiques and everything. I said, he goes, no, you get nothing. That was it, nothing.
I know the cars, 2 trucks floated down the creek.
I mean,
And those were those your vehicles?
Yeah.
Yes, we lost
a
them.
car and a truck. I mean, everything except we even lost. It knocked the shoes off of us.
The water was going about 75 miles an
Oh my
hour.
gosh.
And when I was in the water, it just took my shoes right off me. It was going so
Bless
fast.
your heart.
How did you eventually get rescued?
This lady, my neighbor lady, she would come down the next day looking. They were looking for some of her husband's stuff that got washed out of the garage, and she was walking around. I thought I heard people talking, and I'm like, no, that was nobody. And then I was like, it's an angel. I did, I really did, because she's the sweetest little lady. And she started hollering, and I hollered back, and she goes, stay there. So they had to go get like a bunch of men to come down there, big saws. It took them like 45 minutes cutting trees to even get to us, because they thought we were dead. Nobody thought we could survive what we
Well,
went
I can't
through.
imagine. Yeah.
You know, and then much less I have broke bones, and it's just.
So they rescued you.
Yeah, they carried us out. They had to make like a shift thing on.
Yeah, I just got out of the rehab with my
For your hip.
It was infected, and so I just.
Bless your heart.
First
Then,
week
yeah,
out.
then they took us to Nesbitt's church, and they were wonderful there. We got a helicopter for us, and got us over to AD Tech, where we met Craig Cooper and his wife. Thank God they weren't going to let us come in the shelter because we had her little dog. She was about to have a meltdown, but Craig, they took the dog.
Oh, they did.
They let us in the
Their dog
shelter.
died before, so they said, well, we'll take care of them. They were so nice.
They're really nice.
They showed us videos of
They've been real good to us. They've helped us a lot. Like, you know.
Somebody lose hearing aids.
She lost her hearing aid. She lost her teeth. I lost my teeth.
Yeah.
So what we need is we need some medical assistance, and we can get you the food and all that
Yes,
stuff.
ma'am.
But we need medical assistance and insurance assistance. And your insurance company told you that your house was flooded. That was
Yeah.
the reason.
Yeah.
But the tree is actually what hit your house,
Yes, the
right?
trees,
The tree
they were like
hit
bombs.
your
It was like
house
bombs
and
hit
knocked it
your-
off of its foundation.
Right.
It wasn't the water.
No,
No.
it was the
So-
trees.
We need to rethink this.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody needs to look at that again for
Right.
you. So, I know there are people around here that would be able to help you figure
Good,
that out.
good.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
I don't know their names,
Right.
I know.
but I know.
No, I mean, you know, we're just like, you got to be kidding me.
I cannot believe it, but
Anyway, that was just a huge blessing that those women even survived. They are amazing. Wow, so amazing. All right, so I've got several videos I want to share with you guys. There's just so much good stuff here. Oh, golly. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Okay. I'm actually gonna stop here. I'm gonna stop this video here, and somebody needs something from me, so I'm gonna help with that, and then I'll be back to make part 2. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.